making massive strides. We got P Money, who will be in charge of the systems and the systems. We're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. We had a good call with what's turned into one of the absolute homies for life, Yosef, who right now I'm helping pretty large businesses with all their online stuff. Yusuf, sorry, Yusuf. sorry, buddy. I can't call you one of my best buddies when I fucking can't even pronounce your name correctly. But cut. I'm gonna post it either way. Anyway, I could just start an editing agency as part of what I'm already doing. I'd much rather partner with someone because I don't want to do more work. Period. And I'd rather work with good people. So this is how I'm going to streamline it to where, one, I can take on more clients, but also provide better results for the clients that I already have, and just increase the ROI per client, which is, it's just, you really have a few options in business. You can take on more clients or you can make more per client. I want to first maximize how much I'm making per client. And if I can get that up to, let's say, 25 per month per client, at least for the new deals that I'm structuring, that would be very favorable to where the margins would be quite high. And I can invest that into things that I want to, like my personal brand. Yosef's going to be doing Sorry. My buddy, he's gonna be running point on a lot of that with PJ doing all like the systematizing shit with his. As you can see, we have shit dialed in.
Oh man, that's what a future $1 trillion company looks like.
Yeah,
sounds like.
Yeah, that's so it's really just taking the steps. This actually is pretty huge, though. I think it's one, really going to allow me to maximize how much I'm making per client, and then I think about how I'm going to monetize this on a multitude of levels, because the way I see Ken's business, one of the guys that I work with, is he has a bunch of revenue streams towards the main central business, and this is one of them. And absolutely how I'm going to continue to increase revenue. And then what I'm going to try and do is franchise the model a bit. There's two people, Jan and Moses, if you guys are watching, hello buddies, that I think are getting pretty good at this stuff as well. So when I have a new client, what I would like to try is kind of franchise it with them, where I'll supply all the capital, all the back end support, and get the high paying clients, and then they'll do a lot of the servicing. I'll try that with a client and see what happens, and see if I could do 2 or 3. I've done this with Luke kind of in the past, and so if there was like 3 or 4 people like that, that would be a franchise model where it would work with anyone. If I could bring in let's say a $25,000 per month client, and they could do a lot of the servicing, we could do some sort of like profit share, especially if I'm providing the capital for the upfront cost. That makes a lot of sense for everybody, and it would be a way to build a team of people who are getting better and better at this, which is really what I want to do. Is what I'm going to be doing is spending a lot of the excess revenue that I have coming in on the personal channel, because I really want to take it to the next level. And with Yusuf today, we were talking about what is the goal with this. There's a multitude of things. We were both in agreement that we would never want to work with someone who sells courses and gay shit online that just kind of scam people. Because it's not necessarily a scam, because people do receive value. I'd rather just give all the value away for free, even though there's not a whole lot, because what does a 22-year-old really know? When I say that, I'm 22, but there's hundreds of these quote unquote business gurus who are selling you the dream on how to make $10,000 per month. I would never be in that position, because, dude, I'm too young, too inexperienced. I don't like that model. So what is my unique edge that I would want to tailor it across? Well, I really understand the content process. And I know that because that is the business that I have. I'm helping these people grow quite substantially, grow their brands. And so I would just be piling a lot of my excess capital and pouring it into my channel and making it so where I'm not doing a super shitty video like this, but actually a high quality, high edited, a good flow, like doing the same thing I actually do for my clients. And with that, if I can start to generate, let's say, a few million views per month, because I have so much capital that I'll be able to deploy or I have access to because of my clients like Kiyosaki and Ken and all these other guys, I could easily raise $5+ million pretty much instantly with the network that I have right now to where I could buy out or the majority stake in businesses that I would want to sell from the personal channel. So that would be like the red light glasses that PJ and Kate have. If I could buy, let's say 51% equity in that company where, and I was doing, let's say 5 to 10 million views per month. And I actually really think the importance of blocking blue light and have massive benefits to your life. That is something that I would want to be selling to, let's say 10 million people per month. And I would have the ability to do it because I have the marketing network where I would find companies that I actually use and I want to kind of take to the next level where their main limiting factor is getting more sales and fix their sales problem. And that's the long-term vision where this is heading, because you make the most money with your own brand. But how do you do that at kind of mass scale? That's just one example. There's hundreds of things that I've thought through for futuristic things, but that these are on a multi-year time horizon from now. So how do you continue to grow your skill set, which is the main goal? How do I become the best at the world at helping people grow their brands? With Ken and Robert and all these other guys that I'm working with. How do I become the best at the world at servicing them? How can I train people at scale? And then how can you systematize everything to where you have this smooth flowing process where it's just kind of plug and play, and then you have your creatives doing the things that they need to, just basically any business. This stuff takes a lot of time and there's a lot of things that go into it, but this is the long-term vision. It's always going to be, let's say, getting 10 to 25 million views per month on the personal channel, then investing in short form. You could do, let's say, 100 million from that if you do like a short form distribution model where you have, let's say, 50 subsidiary accounts posting different variations of short form content. And this is a business model I've had in the past. So it's pretty easy for me to ramp these things up because I understand it to a relatively high degree. And I have distribution networks where I'd be able to market this from because of my clients. So there's just so many things that would be in my favor to allow this to happen. So that's kind of one of the plans moving forward as to how I really want to, like, when I talk about like a 3-year goal, that's kind of where I see all this stuff heading. And then it's just filling out the details as to how you actually get there. Because I don't, like, it takes the same amount of effort to make $100,000 per month as it does to make $1 million per month. It's just the kind of the people and systems in place and what you're actually doing that kind of makes the difference for that. So I'd rather just put in all the upfront capital, all the upfront time to build the foundation that allows you to go to a few $1 million per month. And these are insane numbers, but with the guys that I'm hanging out with, it's really not. Like the guys that I hang out with make so much more than this just from their businesses. And the unique edge that I have is I get to peek into their business anytime I want, because one of the deals that I structure with all my clients is I want to learn as much about business as humanly possible so I can do this for myself. And everyone's in mutual agreement where they're kind of acting as mentors, but where it's a mutualistic relationship because I'm providing a service for them that's producing a lot of revenue. So they want to continue to use my services and spend more time. And we have a great relationship. But then I also get to ask them any questions and they can actually provide tangible help at any moment. So that's just what we're getting dialed in right now. Just taking the processes. But I think in, let's say, 3 to 6 months from now, the income will really start to rise pretty drastically because of these things that will be coming into place. Also, the expenses are going to be ridiculously high. And there's a lot of pressure when you're spending, let's say, 20 grand a month on payroll. And that means you have to continue to perform. So once you start this stuff, there's a lot of things that you have to continue to do, which I want to do. I want more and more pressure, more and more stress. I perform much better under those circumstances. Like, because I always goes back to Ken's company, because he has his management company, which manages all his properties. He has the construction, the general contractors. He has that to where they can build them. He has his acquisitions. He has the people who raise the capital. He has every single aspect of a real estate company, of buying multifamily, managing it, getting the cash flow. they do the syndicating, they do every single process of it, but it's all towards one central goal of multifamily real estate. And so I think there's a multitude of ways for me to do that without really losing focus, because it's all going towards the same thing. Those are just small steps that I'm thinking of, though. There's so many others that would take me an hour to explain, because I put a lot of thought into this stuff. Pretty much every night, I'm starting to think about these things. Another thing that I'd like to go over is, what is your screen time, you fuckers? I'm asking every single person on here because I'm pulling mine up right now. It was pretty damn good. So last week, reporting, weekly report, last week I averaged 49 minutes of screen time per day. What?
you just remind me of like Spencer holding it up to the screen. Last week, guys.
So everyone, I actually made a video a long time ago, how to get unaddicted to your phone. I don't even know if I posted it, but life is just so much better. It just simply is better. Away from technology. I still spend too much time on my laptop, but the less time I spend on it, the more time I can spend thinking, which that actually allows me to create the vision for where we're going to go to the future. And that there's a lot of thought that goes into this. It's not like a one day thing. You just decide where you're going to take it. I mean, I've put months on end thinking through different avenues for where we could take this, what it would look like if we took it in different directions. And this, at least in the short term, is where we're going to start to head. And then you have to continue to remind all the people around you of where we are heading, because when there's such a bigger goal that you're trying to go after, and you can clearly articulate the vision, it's easier for people want to come on board, so they can be a part of that. And then you can take yourself out of it, and everyone's just collectively trying to move towards that vision with you going along towards it as well. Because I really can't do everything, and I'm not good at most things. I'm good at one particular thing that I'm really good at, that I just want to spend all my time doing. But when you're running a business, you go from, let's say, becoming a specialist in something, which is where I started. I became a specialist, that I had something that a lot of people wanted. And then when you start a business, you have to start to learn a lot of other things. While you're still the specialist in that, you have to learn, let's say, the hiring, the accounting, the lawyering, the gay shit, that all that stuff I'm not really good at all. And so you have to find people who are good at all those other avenues, as PJ's putting a banana in his ass over here. PJ is good at the systematizing, or at least that's what I think. Like, he's just now starting out on it, but I think he's going to be crushing that. And I think you think you're going to be crushing that too.
Well, it's kind of the same thing I was doing with Dropbox.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think too, with like what we're talking about here too, is teamwork and specialization. Yeah, it's like you could try to be the person who does it all, like makes the blue light glasses company and does all the editing and does all the videotaping, and they're the actor and the director and the producer, and then they run the real estate company too. Or like you can just focus on what you're really good at and team up with those people, so you guys can all achieve great things together. And I think that's what we're gonna be doing with Yusuf.
Well, and you, I mean, you're pretty you're like, without what you're doing right now, we wouldn't have the systems that will be possible as well. And so I'd like to use Sean's company to help streamline this, because Sean said that he has a company where he helps people systematize what they're doing, but they need to work with someone to describe the processes so they can help systematize.
Well, that's the thing, because the system's already there. It's just not out for people to see.
It's not at scale, though. So it has to be all kind of dialed in. So you can just, once we have everything dialed in, I'll just show you guys exactly what we're doing, because it doesn't, like I don't consider anyone as a competitor, because even if someone was better at what I'm doing than I'm doing, you just don't have the connections. And so I get the high paying clients either way, which is just the reality of the situation. And so if you are better, then I'd like to hire you, and I'd like to partner with you, because if I can bring in a $25,000 per month client, you might not be able to, which would mean it's a very mutualistic relationship between everyone. And so when we do have the processes, I'd like to walk through exactly what we're doing in each step, because that's actually the most valuable thing for when you're actually starting to grow a business, is getting all this shit dialed in.
Yeah, because
it's not easy.
Not only is it going to help streamline the process and keep everything in order and organized, but also
that banana's good.
Yeah. Also,
you're just man gripping this part of the.
Also, that does help you scale, because, like, say you want to take on Moses and Jan.
It's impossible to scale without it, too.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the YouTube channel. This is...
Subscribe, put a comment down below, follow the Instagram.
PJ Tucker 44. That's actually important. If you're a bitch watching this, a woman with a... follow PJ's
Please,
Instagram.
actually don't. I can't handle it anymore.
Good, yeah. If you want PJ to start an OnlyFans, let's start a petition in the comments. Cade will be the first sponsor. I will be the second. Yeah. So petition in the comments for PJ's OnlyFans.